Hello and welcome. This is Sahara playing Dragon Age Origins. It took me a while to find the stupid black grimoire, but I found it. I've been gifting stuff and sold a whole bunch of crap. But let's go ahead and give this to Morrigan and see what she says.
What? You found Flemeth's grimoire? When I spoke of it to you, I did not truly hope. This is a most fortuitous event. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
What do you hope to find within it?
Secrets. My mother has many of them, and this tome represents the one time that they were able to get away from her. I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
Cool. So everyone approved. She approved by 8. Quest updated. You found Flemeth's tomb and gave it to Morrigan. So, and what's this skill acquired? Oh, okay, because skill or plot. So she's now inspired. She's a moderate magic. So her plot approved because of her whatever. Inspired by your leadership, this party member has gained a moderate bonus to magic. Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright, so now let's just talk to her. I went up by 8, 1, 5, 1. Okay.
I await your command.
So life in the wilds must have been very lonely. Yep.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
And that seemed normal to you, but you eventually left? That actually sounds pretty wonderful to me.
For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. It was encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
What happened then? I don't remember if we went through this before or not.
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
But you don't need to live that way any longer. They made you stronger, didn't they? Yep, they did.
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Okay, so yep, alright. So let's ask her. I'm gonna save here first. Okay.
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Oh, that's the first time she laughed. I don't know if we went to the
Possibly,
shapeshifter.
if I had the desire to. I do not.
Okay. Perhaps you had better find the desire then? I should have known you'd be selfish. And why not?
I was told to accompany you and to help you, and that I shall. This may extend to the teaching of my mother's skills in time. For now, I simply do not know you well enough. I promise nothing.
Okay, that makes sense. I totally get it.
I await your command.
So we already know about something personal.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Never mind. Nothing new. Okay, so let's go over here, talk to some other party members. And the first one along the way is Sten.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
Thanks, I guess?
You're welcome.
So will you tell me why you were caged? I wanted to I think we already went all through that, why he was caged. Something you mentioned.
Speak then.
And that's enough for
Then
now.
I suggest we move on.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Do you find Beridan very strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Our farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Yeah, I think we've already went through that. Is there anything you like about? Yeah. Actually, never mind.
Very well.
Nope. I think that's it.
As you wish.
I thought there would have been something more, but I guess not. Okay. Do I dare talk to Alistair? Oh, what the hell? Oh, this is somebody new over here. Emissary. Huh. I don't remember them being there before. Let's talk to Leanna.
I must say that traveling with you has opened my eyes to how wrong some are about the Dalish. You are not at all savage, and I've not seen you snatch away women and children without provocation.
My people are often misunderstood. We're used to it. Are you trying to be funny? My people are often
If
misunderstood.
my people were more open to interacting with yours, we could do away with such misperceptions.
I totally agree. There are closed-minded individuals on both sides. It's not that easy. You assume we want to interact with you? Last time that happened, it didn't end well. You assume that we want to interact with you.
I know humans and elves do not share a happy history, but peace must be possible. I hear many city folk talk about how wonderful it must be to live simpler lives, close to the earth. They could learn from the Dalish.
Do you think as a canary, you think as a quaint curiosity meant for study? We do live quite close to the earth. Your city folk are very naive, and so are you. We do live quite close to the earth.
How marvelous that must be. I have met very few elves, and those that I have met were pledged to the service of Orlesian nobles.
You mean slaves?
They are serfs. There is no slavery in Orlais.
It is still a life I would never choose. It's the same thing.
Elven servants are well compensated for their services. Some of them live richer lives than humans. A well-trained elven servant is highly valued in Orlais. They are nimble and dexterous, and many people find them pleasing to look at.
Enough. I have no wish to continue this conversation. Like a prize-winning animal? So I should offer myself to some... No, like a prize-winning animal?
No, I did not mean it that way. Oh, my words were clumsily chosen. I did not mean to offend. I am sorry.
I'm Melvin, but more than that, I am a person. You may not be cruel, but you still see us differently, yep.
I did not realize that. It is so strange how long-held beliefs just seem natural and right. Like there is no other way to feel. Thank you. You have given me a lot to think about.
Okay, anything else we wanted to talk to you about?
Have I ever told you I really like the way you wear your hair?
Really? It's so stubborn sometimes. My hair? Thank you.
It's very nice, and it suits you. Simple. Not like the elaborate hairstyles we wore in Orlais. They involved flowers, ribbons, jewels. 1 year, feathers were all the rage, and Lady Elise decided she needed to outdo everyone else, and actually wore live songbirds in her voluminous hair. The chirping was quite charming for a while, but you must realize, terrified little birdies often have loose bowels.
Yeah, they do. Poor birds.
Yes, I don't envy them. She never washed her hair. But I was trying to say something nice to you, wasn't I? Oh, forgive me. My mind wanders so. It's just that I feel so comfortable talking to you. Like I could say anything and you wouldn't judge me.
Didn't I just judge you a little bit ago? And I actually do like the way you ramble, wouldn't it? Wouldn't I? Maybe I just keep it to myself? You're mistaken. You are far too frivolous for my liking. Well, we are friends, aren't we?
Yes, very much so. I haven't felt this close to anyone in a long time. I really enjoy your company.
And do you often enjoy the company of other women? I think you're getting the wrong idea. Right, enough of that. Let's talk about my hair some more. I think you're getting the wrong idea.
Wrong idea? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I enjoy spending time with my friends. Is there something wrong?
No, nothing. You're a good friend. Never mind. I must have misunderstood.
Come then, let's get going. If I recall correctly, you have some important earth-shattering business to attend to.
True, I do.
Something I can help with?
That's what I want. I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you decide to come to Britain? You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have any tales to share? Minstrels are often spies. Yeah, I heard that in Orlais. Minstrels are often spies.
Where did you hear this?
Who cares? Is it true or not? Someone told me this a long time ago.
And you believe everything you hear? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
And the bards are spies?
Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
Interesting. I never heard of that concept before. Do they spy on Finland? Doesn't the monarchy govern them? What sort of services does a bard offer? Patron? What sort of patron?
Nobles, mostly. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite. And in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
You seem to know quite a bit about these bards. I knew it. You're not just some innocent sister. You were a bard, weren't you?
I have revealed too much, it seems. But it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
Well, why were you living cloistered, sister, in rural... I never hear that. I'd never leave that. It sounds too exciting, so that's where you learn to fight like that. But why were you living cloistered, sister, in rural Gredolin?
I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here.
Okay. So we learned some more of her backstory. Interesting. Let's go talk to Wynne.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Are you all right?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
No, you're a person. There's still some life in those old bones, I bet. It's a little hard to miss, yes. You are very sprightly for your age, though.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
I think we might have said this one too. Hey, don't say those things. We still need you. You're not allowed to be done quite yet. I'm sure you'll be kicking around for years yet.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't.
Okay. Never really got to speak to her.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Well, there was Connor.
Ah, yes, Connor, of course. The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Seeing the monster that you could be is unsettling, yes. You are too easily perturbed then. You're a great mage. You will never become an abomination, yes. Seeing the monster that you could be is unsettling,
One
yes.
slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination. You cannot let them be simply because they might get better. No, on number one.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Okay.
So, tell me, how did you become a Grey Warden?
The short story, I met Duncan and he liked me. I was tainted and only the joining could save me. Yep.
Then you became a Grey Warden out of necessity. But Duncan must also have seen something special in you. The Order does not take in recruits just to save their life. You must be proud to be able to represent your tribe and the Dalish as a Grey Warden.
The Keeper forced me to go. I would rather have died. I was honored to be chosen by Duncan. I just hope that I can show the strength that Duncan saw in me. Yep.
Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be.
Okay. Any
I
more?
must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
And I'd be chosen to do something important, glory and honor. I suppose it's about killing as many darkspawn. Means everyone needs to show me some respect and know. It means I've been chosen to do something important.
There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
But the Grey Wardens bow to no one. You mean to say I serve as a protector? I serve no one and don't you forget it? You mean to say I serve as a protector?
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men. And you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
I suppose that makes sense.
A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
So in a way, having power confines you. I don't want power. I've never wanted it. I'm strong enough to take power than I deserve it. No, I don't want power. I've never wanted it.
If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome.
An interesting point, that's for sure. Any more?
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you?
I don't see how that concerns you. You're quite taken with each other, aren't you? Who are you referring to? You know about Alistair and me?
It's hard not to notice the doe-eyed looks he gives you, especially when he thinks no one's watching. It's almost too sweet for my tastes, and I'm an old lady who should be making lace hearts and fuzzy blankets with animal motifs.
You're not like the average old lady.
No, I won't be making socks with pom-poms for you anytime soon. But that's hardly my point. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Alistair is a fine lad, skilled in battle, but quite inexperienced when it comes to affairs of the heart. I would hate to see him get hurt.
We're just taking it one day at a time. Are you saying I might hurt Alistair? What about me? Not worried about me getting hurt?
I am worried about you both. There is great potential for tragedy here. Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do?
So is that going to be something that comes up in the storyline? I don't want to have to make that choice. What am I supposed to do? Tell Alistair to go away? You're making things sound more dire than they are.
Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this.
I'll consider what you have said. Alistair and I can handle whatever comes our way. Are you trying to get me to end this?
You may have to save one or both of you unnecessary anguish later on.
I'm not giving up what we have, no matter what you say. But you know, love, you're never left the circle, so I should inflict pain now to avoid it later. I know what's best for us, not you. What do you know of love? You've never left a circle.
I know more about love's enchantment and its perils than I care to tell. But perhaps this is one lesson that cannot be taught. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
Okay. We have a lot of catching up to do
Is there
here.
something you need?
Now we finally get to. Why didn't you want to stay at the tower?
The circle is in good hands. Irving knows what to do, and he doesn't need me underfoot. For now, I will support those that battle the Darkspawn. I do feel I left things unfinished in Ostagar. There is so much left to do, and I would be part of it.
But you left the children. Just do as I say. I am glad for your company.
The Grey Wardens, all 2 of you, need all the help you can get. I will see this through to the bitter end, and after that, if I am still left standing, then I will return to the circle.
I wanted to make sure you really wanted this. We'll get along fine as long as you pull your weight. I am sure you will be able to return if you so choose.
Perhaps.
Okay?
Is there something you need?
I'd like to ask you something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
How did you become a mage?
People don't become mages. They are born mages. The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the Circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then.
And what about your family?
I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm. I was found, and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray, and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it happened, but one day, he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby.
He deserved it. Serves him right. He was lucky. I would have done much more. I would have done much worse to him. Yeah, serves him right.
He ran screaming, dripping head and all, to his mother. I was shut up in the barn with a bowl of water and a crust of hard bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later.
What happened when you arrived at the tower? What a terrible experience for a child.
The barn kept me safe from the village children and the stones they would hurl at me. I was afraid, yes, but it could have been much worse. I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life. I stopped being afraid then. I knew I was home.
Don't get sentimental on me. Little did you know it was just a prettied up prison. No, she doesn't believe that. That's a great story.
Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the Circle.
What was life like in the tower?
I would be lying if I said it was easy. First, there were rules, and we were constantly watched to make sure we behaved appropriately. Then there was the study of magic. We had to cast the spells just so, control the effects completely. A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, and lack of focus. And we needed to have perfect focus, or we would be in danger.
At least you learned the danger of magic from the Circle. Danger from what?
From Fade spirits. If we were careless, they would enter our minds, and we would become abominations. Without the Circle and my mentors, I would not have been where I am today. And there was joy in life at the Circle. The joys of fellowship, in knowing that you were not alone in your struggles. In spite of everything, I was happy in the tower, and I loved it.
There's nothing else I want to discuss. Okay. Alright, so I think we got everything we needed out of her for now. Let's go talk to Zara.
Here I am.
Here to answer some questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training. The sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
So you have to be a murderer. I think I've already asked all this. It doesn't take any special skills?
I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
That sounds like it could be useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
Okay.
Here I am.
Can you teach others to be an assassin?
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
Okay. And what if I ordered you? Very well, I'll respect your word.
If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows?
Okay.
Here I am.
Can you teach others? Can you answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Tell me a little about Antivia.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And don't you want to go back?
It's not really a matter of wanting to go back. I cannot go. At least not yet. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
No. Of course, my mother was better than any gem. Why? My people have no cities.
Ah, yes, of course. The wandering life of the Danish. That truly is better. I'm jealous. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Now that is odd.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
I forgot, he is an elf too. There's leather everywhere? Really? You smell a cesspool and think of home? You sound like you've been away from home forever. That's a little bizarre. There's leather everywhere.
Ah, but it's not Antivan leather, is it? I do not know what the Antivan tanners do that is different, but there is no leather more supple nor more fragrant. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in the store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. Ah, but I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
So he's giving me a hint here what he wants for a gift. I asked you about Antiva, not your leather fetish. The job being killing me, right? Your home is still there.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful grey warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
You need to make the most of where you are. Now you're flattering me. Oops. Ah.
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
Don't bother, I'm on to you.
I'm not sure that that's the route I would take, were I to continue old habits, but as you wish. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
Ooh, he went down by 8. Woo, sorry, I pissed you off.
Here I am.
Pissed you off. Can you teach
I'm
others?
still thinking about it. I don't yet want the crows to actively hunt me, you see. Maybe later.
Okay, so, you can teach me to be
Here
an
I am.
assassin. Can you answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What is your opinion of the Dalish? Oh, why did you want to leave the crows exactly?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
You didn't choose to join the Crows? But what would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
That sounds awful. So you had a hard life. Man, that sounds awful.
Oh, I don't know about that. The Crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a Crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
You sound like you've been spoiled. Why didn't you just leave then?
And become the next mark for some up-and-coming Crow? Not likely. The only way to leave is for them to think you're dead. And even then, you'd best be scarce. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
And when you get the first chance to betray me? Won't the Crows eventually find you?
Eventually can be a very, very long time if one plays one's cards right. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the Crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Okay, anything else we can discuss?
Here I am.
Care to answer some
This
questions?
should be good. Go ahead.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a Crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared. The authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses. Even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
You've never killed an innocent?
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent?
True.
But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
Yeah, that's a very practical attitude. I suppose that's true.
Death happens, as we like to say. And when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed. The pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
I take no pleasure in killing.
It is not pleasure, per se. Nothing sexual. It is more a sense of satisfaction. A feeling of power. Does that make sense? No matter. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a Crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a Crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
No, not really. No, I suppose not.
Somehow that sounds less complimentary than I had anticipated. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the Crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Oh boy, he doesn't like things I'm saying to him. That's just too bad. I was just thinking something and now I forgot what I was thinking. Oh, I know what I was thinking. It seems like between the Chantry, that keeps everybody under their thumb, the Templars keep the mages under their thumb, and the Crows keep the assassins under their thumb. Everyone's like in their own gilded cage. Interesting.
Here I am.
Can you answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What is your opinion about the Dalish?
I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one, or so I was told. She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. All is tale in the book.
Was the woodcutter your father? That's horrible.
Is it? It seemed normal enough a tale growing up. No different than the other elven boys in the whorehouse. I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the Crows. I brought a good price, so I hear.
What else? What does this have to do with the Dalish? And yet you're oddly cheerful about it all.
It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the Crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all.
You're comparing my life to yours?
Are we so different, you and I? Buffeted by the winds of fate, brought to this point by both circumstance and excellence.
I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in fate. I do. Technically, I do. You may have a point.
Oh, you are too kind. My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always a point of fascination for me. Through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beautiful. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again.
Ah, another clue for Dalish gloves. That's why you like the smell of leather. And how do you feel about the Dalish in general?
I don't feel anything about them. Oh, we heard about them in the city. Even deep in Antiva. I even had the notion once to run off and join them. Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come, enough talk of the Dalish. Let us move on.
Boy, I am just pissing him off something terrible.
Here I am.
Do I want to talk to him some more?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Here I am.
Let's talk something
Oh,
personal.
this should be good. What would you like to discuss?
Oh, never mind. Wow, okay, so his approval has got to be just terrible. He's probably back at the beginning. Come on, he was the very... Oh, actually he's not. He's in the middle. Approval -7. He's neutral. I have to get him some stuff. Get him more wine. Let's go over to pet Sydney. Come on, Sydney, let's pet you.
The dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
Oh, what? I'm sure you're exaggerating. He will fill our enemies with He will fill our enemies with his stench. No, I'm sure you're exaggerating.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Bathe? Can't you just wave your staff and make him clean? Can't you just not smell him? He's a warhound, not some pampered and... Go ahead, he is getting a little rank. No, not a pampered and powdered lapdog.
I suppose that's true. Just make him sleep over on the other side of the camp. With Alistair. With any luck, that will keep all the stench confined to one small area.
Okay. Did you hear what she said about you? That wasn't nice. No, you don't stink. No, you don't. You're a good girl. Okay. Now let's go talk to Alistair. I'm almost afraid to.
Your desire is my command.
Yeah. I just want to say,
Your desire is my command.
I have some questions.
Of course.
Tell me I was great in... Oh no, I've already been all through that. No. What am we...
You called.
No, I'm sorry. No.
As you wish.
Clicked on you by accident.
Your desire is my command.
I need to discuss something private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
I think we need to end this now. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I see. Can I ask why?
I'd rather not talk about it. I'm sorry, it's just not working out. This hasn't any hope of going anywhere. I'm interested in this. It hasn't any hope of going anywhere.
I guess it's better this way. Let's not drag it out, right? I'll leave you alone then, since that's apparently what you want.
Wow, disapproval minus 22. Oh, I don't know. Do I want to have a flirting thing with him or not? He's such a beta boy. That's the problem. He's a beta boy. Yeah. I just won't talk to him. And we want to go see what this emissary over here is. Oh, come on. Not Wynne, over here. So who are you and where'd you come from?
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry.
Oh. Do you need anything?
There are always areas to improve on, Grey Warden. The most useful for my talents are runes.
So, what do you mean by
The
that?
Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry.
They will work together?
The sincerity of your cause has drawn them together under a common banner. It would not have happened otherwise.
Okay, so, he is a tranquil. A command box for the resources you have collected for your troops. Turn in ruins for the circle. Give all unassigned journeymen ruins. Yes. Turn in the ruins for the circle. Give all unassigned novice ruins. Now I understand what this does. Okay. And leave.
Such a force has not been seen since the collapse of the Tevinter Imperium.
Okay, so that's what that's all about. Interesting. Well, we spent all this time talking to people in camp. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Yes, I should be coming up here. So, it's go going on 50 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and close down this episode. And when we come back, we're going to go back to, actually when we come back, I will be back at the Brazilian forest and gone back down in the ruins to see if we can confront that damn dragon, get that quest going. So if you're enjoying, click like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Sahara out.